was Grace Notes Choir. All right, Team Stanbridge, we're giving you a round of applause. Bravo. Thank you for all you do. All right, well, we are blessed to get back to work. It is now 1 o'clock. So I'm going to turn it over. We're going to have a quick video, and then I will actually, Fernanda, you can come up for it. Let me make sure I say it. I've been mispronouncing names all day long, right? Fernanda Cardenas, Executive Director, Gonzaba Foundation for Healthy Communities. And we want to thank you for bringing Tony here today. Plethora.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes. So we want to thank everyone that's joining us virtually and also in person. This is a great event and lots of information. And we are happy to be partners with the Alzheimer Association and of course with the man that needs no introduction, Mr. Tony Plana with Seniors in Play.
Well, it's always great to see myself with black hair and more of it. I wear a lot of hats now, as a lot of us do. We all look the same, you know, hats and beards. We don't shave because there's hair, you know, and there's hair there at least. We'll take it wherever we can get it because we're losing most of it all the time. So, hello everybody. Buenas tardes, good afternoon. I want to thank you very much for the kind introduction by Fernanda, that's sweet, and to the Alzheimer's Association of San Antonio, South Texas, for inviting me to be with you today. Big thank you to Director Ginny Funk, Dianne Teran, and the whole Alzheimer's Association team for all your support. You made it easy for me to get here and to be here with you today. Yes, thank you. As you can see, I came ready for your weather. Straw hat, guayabera, okay? Mexican wedding shirt, ready. 95, 100, bring it on. Ready. Just don't stand too close. A very special thank you to Fernanda Cardenas, who just introduced me, and the Gonzaba Foundation. Your essential belief in us and your sponsorship of our Seniors in Play programs and your recommendation to come and be a part of this important event means a lot to us, means a lot to me personally. And so thank you for that. Can we give her a hand for all her support? I have to admit that my first reaction was one of reluctance to attend. You may understand this when I explain it. An inclination to decline, primarily because of a deep-seated fear to return to an experience. I knew this would happen. That was so excruciatingly painful, accompanied by this overwhelming frustration and a sense of unresolvable helplessness that lasted almost 10 years. But then I realized it was the wrong reaction. Yes, easier to ignore, easier to live in denial, to pretend it doesn't exist, to give up, throw your hands up in the air and say, and believe there's nothing we can do about it. Then I remember something Maya Angelou said. There's no greater agony than bearing an untold story. And that sharing one's painful experiences can lead to a healthy unburdening and to provide great healing. Not just for yourself, but for others. Your story can become a part of someone else's survival. That's why it's important for me to be here with you, and for all of us to be here together. We can and will find strength, direction, gathering. So I'm here to share the story I just alluded to earlier, and now I've taken action in my own way to do something about it, and now I've been continually joined by others, Fernanda, our wonderful director, Angela Oti, and others, Bexar County, City of San Antonio, etc., joined by many others to do the same. My wonderful mother, Conchita, which is short for conception, I've always joked that my mom was so holy that I was actually an immaculate conception. The nuns didn't like it when I said that. But I got some laughs. And I had to stay after school. Conchita is a name that is impossible to say without smiling. Try it sometime when you're taking a photo. It works much better than cheese. Conchita. Conchita, you're smiling. And the nuns would say that when they ran into my mother, she would always cause a smile in them without even saying her name. Conchita, my mother, left her physical presence in the world on July 2nd, 2008, after almost 10 years of struggling with Alzheimer's. We celebrate her. With Cuban and liturgical music in the beautiful church of Culver City's St. Augustine's Church, where our family of 5 arrived 47 years earlier as refugees, where we were received with open arms by the sisters there who provided food, clothing, shelter, and education. With Conchita always trying to repay them somehow by helping with laundering and cleaning at the convent. That goodbye was tough that day when we said goodbye to her. It was filled with conflicted feelings, the sense of loss that had been going on for a decade. All of us losing pieces of her one by one, starting with memory, but progressively depriving her all her physical and mental faculties, and eventually reducing her to a breathing vegetable. It was so difficult to even take our young children to see her, because the abuelita was no longer there, no longer present. Those visits were more traumatic than comforting. This disease had gradually taken away all the things she treasured. Her ability to cook, to dance, to sing, to walk, to talk, her favorite pastime. On the phone, wherever, she was a talker. To see movies, to eat, another passion. I mean, it's Cuban food, for Christ's sake. Why would you not want to eat it? This was a woman who had photographic memory for family birthdays, anniversaries, saints' days, yes, saints' days, and phone numbers, and always calling all of us to remind us to call each other and celebrate those sacred days, and providing us with all the pertinent information. In some of her latest stages, whenever we visited her, she would always make us take a photograph. She would forget she had asked us, so we would do it again, and again, and again, and again. We could see her desperately trying to find some way to control her slippery brain, to preserve those moments where she found connection, where she found meaning. It also conveyed some sort of hidden lesson to us, an instinctive warning: live consciously, focus, clarify your priorities, capture the moment. It never comes again. So, when death finally came, besides the loss, the obvious loss, we all experienced a sense of relief. Thank you, God, that her suffering for all of us is over. I eulogized her that funeral day. In my eyes, it was fitting that she passed around the 4th of July weekend. This was her declaration of independence from an insidious disease, a body that had betrayed her. She had finally moved from her physical presence to her spiritual one that she believed in all her life with all her heart and soul. Knowing that, we were grateful and relieved. You know, one never really knows all that one has till it's gone. Joni Mitchell. When we lose someone, we start to realize how much of them is part of us more than ever. Especially with our mother. Especially with Conchita. I wasn't losing her. She wasn't going away. The moment they had cut my umbilical cord at my birth, she had placed her hands around my heart forever, showing me how to feel, teaching me how to love. All my life, she had been there, the guardian of my heart. Even through the 10 years of deprivation, she had always been right there beside me, even when I didn't know it, when I had forgotten. And after her passing, I was reminded of that. She showed me how to forgive, how to understand, how to care for others, how to be kind. Conchita taught me so many things, like she did for all of us when we were hurt. From my earliest memories of looking up at this larger-than-life being with her beatific smile, her soft, gentle hands, and her warm, soft-tick body, her fun, easy manner, her contagious laughter, I sensed a deep, vigilant, exclusive concern for my safety and well-being. She taught me how to feel secure and how to enjoy life, to trust it, embrace it. She encouraged me to savor food. That was easy. Café con leche, pan con mantequilla, rice and beans, breaded steaks, pastel de guayaba, mangoes, flan, even vegetables. She introduced me to the pleasures of the shallow waves of our favorite beach, to play spontaneously, yet carefully with other children, to love music and dance and song, the thrill of self-expression, to appreciate a good joke or crack one herself whenever she had to feed large numbers of people, which was often. It's a Cuban family, there are legions. She would reluctantly order some items takeout, and when someone praised it during dinner, she replied, "Thank you very much. I made it with cash." I love that. Or she would finish cleaning the kitchen after everyone had left. She would clap her hands and declare, "Nothing happened here." I love that too. I still use it. I don't cook at home, but I'm the head dishwasher. She showed me how to relax and accept the quiet joy of a warm summer breeze. Or even marvel at the amazing relief of air conditioning. For Conchita, no matter how cool it was, it could always be cooler. She would have preferred Alaska, but she settled for California. Compared to Cuba, she was grateful for the drier heat and those breezy, refreshing nights. She was a sentient being. She opened my eyes to beauty. How to experience the world. She was the best acting teacher I've ever had. As I grew older and had to share her with two younger brothers, I was forced to step outside her single relationship with me and observe her interacting with others. I saw the way she loved my father so completely, without reservation, without judgment. Maybe it was because she had lost her father early in life, and she added what she couldn't give her father to what she offered Papa every day. But beyond that, I think she was just able to filter all the crap in the world and refine life to what was truly important. I admired how she was able to love all three boys equally, never favoring, never shortchanging one for the other. She had enough for all of us and more. We could never exhaust her because the more she loved, the more she could. Here's what, this is where Shakespeare says it best. In Romeo and Juliet, my bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have. For both are infinite. That was Conchita. This was obviously apparent with her friends. She always tried to understand others before trying to be understood, a lesson I'm still learning. Ask my wife. Always the last one to offer an opinion. This is how she cultivated deep, caring, intimate friendships that lasted her a lifetime. She knew innately what life is about and why we are here, not to conquer the world, but to serve it, to love it, so we can save it. And in doing so, save ourselves. She knew where true satisfaction was waiting, or a sampling of real happiness is possible in this complex, contentious, unforgivable world. Conchita knew inherently and was defined by two actions: to serve and to love. She was the most Christ-like person I've ever known. Yes, she was blessed with that gift. It came easily to her. But she willingly unwrapped that gift every day for everyone she met. I firmly believe that this is why, in spite of all the challenges of exile from our beautiful native Cuba, all the family dysfunction, my father's alcoholism, etc., that comes with poverty, alienation, broken dreams, she raised three boys, Tony, Victor, and Oscar, that have distinguished themselves in their careers, created lasting friendships, managed to build loving relationships with their wives and children, and are making a difference in the world. She saved us all by teaching us that empathy and hope are the most powerful of all virtues and the keys to true success. To feel what others feel, to believe in their better nature. Conchita was a believer to her very core of her very being. It came as natural to her as breathing. She was humble enough and loving enough to experience the divine and to rely on it for sustenance, to refresh her sense of hope and her capacity to love. This is her greatest legacy. Her death began to unite our family in ways we hadn't experienced for a long time. We started to believe, began to consider the possibility of forgiving each other and learning to forget those experiences that divide us and concentrate on those that bring us together. The best way to honor her with the gift she most desired. It is truly part of her victory over death and her lasting legacy. So that's Conchita. And the reason I share so much with you is because I believe that we all have the Conchita. I start to sound like we all have an El Guapo, the three amigos. Conchita's better than El Guapo. We all have a Conchita in our lives. That's why we're here. Or maybe we are a Conchita. Many of us will be a Conchita, unfortunately. So what do you do about it? What do we do about it? It's so easy to accept hopelessness. And sharing that experience with my mother, with you, and the processing of that experience and the loss of it, but also in some ways the blessings of it, I think teach us how to process these experiences with those people that we lose slowly and inevitably. Because I think they can serve as a catalyst, an inspiration of how we fight this thing that is slowly taking over a lot of our people in this country. And I think the only way to do that is to have those people that are meaningful to you go through it. Find out how they are inside you. And have them through you. What you learn from them, how they affected you, live through you, and touch others through them. I mean, that is an empowering process. It's empowered me. And the other thing that I think the best way to fight, besides doing that, because they do live, you know, through us, if we allow them to. And they also inspire us to do something proactive. I believe we cannot sit idle and allow this to defeat us. We need to become, as you, and many of you call yourselves, Alzheimer warriors, and fight every day to find a cure and find better ways of preventing it. And that's why I'm here today, because this is the main inspiration for why I created, founded, and have been developing with many good people, as I shared earlier, Seniors in Play. I said, why do I have to offer? I'm an actor. And listen, at 70, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, you know, people say, why, you're working all the time? I said, well, wait a minute, it's not exactly my talent. A lot of my competition is either retired or dead. Or can't remember the lines. Look, Tony's not that great, but he remembers his lines. Yeah, we'll get through the day. So, I kept thinking about that. My wife and I were invited to a conference here for seniors, and I remember sitting there going, God, they don't have any programming that's performative. That's acting. You know, to me, performing arts, the performative art is the most holistic. It basically requires the entire person. You know, it's your body, it's your mind, it's your emotion, it's you are communicating, connecting socially with each other. You're creating something together. So, and you all know this, our biggest enemies are isolation, disconnection, alienation, depression, which is caused by all those other factors. And that is imminent death. I said, why not get seniors together? Get them together to write about their stories, share them with others. As I shared with you earlier, important to share your stories, the good and the bad and the ugly. Because it frees you and empowers you and makes you powerful in those experiences when you write about it and share it publicly or with others in the group. But also to bring in professionally written material and have them create monologues and interpret monologues, create monologues, and perform those scenes for other seniors. Perform them for others, for their families and friends. Here's the other thing. Reverse the dynamic of seniors being isolated in their assisted living homes and get them to a place where they can create something together and share it with their community. Have their community come see them in Seniors in Play. Their children, their colleagues, their friends, their brothers and sisters, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, come see grandma or grandpa strut their stuff. Why not? They'll see you in a different light. You know, you will inspire them instead of always depending on them to inspire you. So that's why I'm so grateful to be able to share my story with you and the story of my mother and the story of Seniors in Play. I just want to read one little thing. Listen, when you get to be our age, you start going to a lot of funerals. I just worked with Norman Lear, and I just remember he created this pilot. It didn't go, unfortunately, but it was all about seniors. And the title was, Guess Who Died? See, it made us laugh. It's like, Greg Wright, I said, oh, he died, okay. I'm next, I guess. But I just want to read this without lecture, you know, right back. I just eulogized a friend of mine who was a great Shakespeare scholar, and we had a lot in common. And he just, you know, part of his bookmarker with his photo that he gave the people who attended the funeral, quoted a poem that I had. We both loved the beat poets of the 60s and 70s, especially the 60s. But and I love this poem so much because it says exactly what I said to you about my mother. But it says it so beautifully. So this is by Allen Ginsberg. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So, when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Give me away. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tony. And again, thank you to the Gonzaba Foundation for helping to bring Tony here with us. That was extremely moving. One more round of applause. And thank you for the important work you're doing with seniors in play.
Thank you.
That's excellent. So, one of my 4 majors in college was theater. So.
How long were you there?
Only 4 years, but it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. I figured it out quickly. I should have held out. I did 70, maybe I would have gotten some more. Okay.
I know some people who haven't left college. All right.
Well, thank you again. We do have, I guess we have a tight schedule this afternoon, right? So we're next up is Caring for the Caregiver program. Melissa Flores. Oh, there, I was like, oh no, wait, we don't have her. Tony, come on back up. You're on.
Come on.
We'll do some Shakespeare together.
Okay.
Speak the speech, I pray you.
Yes. Pronounce it perfectly on the tongue.
But if you mouth it, as many of my players do, I had to speak the town crier spoke right now. Nor do not swallow the air too much.
The play is the thing that captures the country.
Great. Melissa's going to talk to us about Caring for the Caregiver program from UT Health and the Big Institute. Thank you. Sorry. All right. I was just kidding. Oh my God. Right.
I follow direction.
I know. Right?
Well, thank you all so much for allowing me to be here today, and hard to follow, Mr. Plana, but thank you so much for sharing your story. I think that really is very telling of why I will pick on the resource section of our